Wardell was one of those guys who was just a little bit different. He didn't care about the accolades. He just cared about doing things the right way.
We need to do something very unique, very special to honor this man's life and his service to the country. The individual that's going to be the recipient of this annual scholarship, we are going to be darn sure that that young man understands where this money's coming from.
Wardell Turner was a good old Southern boy from the other side of the bridge on the Eastern Shore. He was a great running back, was a great DB. As a high school football player, watching him as a senior, it was awe. He was a dominating high school football player. And then when we got to college, and he was a senior and I was a freshman, it was more like a really older brother and a really bratty younger brother. So I got educated on what college football was. And I remember Wardell would have fun with me. He'd keep me in the box. The lessons that he learned in the game of football really got him jump-started into a military career.
Sergeant Major Wardell Turner was serving in the NATO mission as an advisor to the Afghan security forces.
He was officially done with combat. He had done his tours in Iraq and Afghanistan.
His son was also deployed to Afghanistan at the time.
So Sergeant Major Turner was in a position where he was able to volunteer for service, and that's what he did.
He had done his job and represented our country extremely well over and over and over again. There's a certain kind of man who knows what war is done with it, and goes back anyway.
You still see you still see.
Sergeant Major Wardell Turner is buried in Arlington National Cemetery. And in discussions with Coach Rob Ambrose, we had discussed what can we do to expose the players to Wardell's sacrifice. So in our early discussions, we had talked about going to Arlington Cemetery.
Today, you guys will go around through Arlington National Cemetery, 625 acres.
When we got there, if you're not moved, you're probably not alive. They took me alone to Wardell's grave, and seeing his gravestone kind of hit me like a ton of bricks. It was a very moving day.
We allowed each player in groups of 3 or 4 to go up and pay those respects at Wardell's gravesite. You could see that they clearly understood the magnitude of Wardell's sacrifice. You could see it in just the way that they carried themselves the rest of the day.
Going to Arlington, I think, really opened up a lot of eyes for the guys on the team to see, that many people over there that have lost their lives, fighting for our freedom, for our country. And just to have, Sergeant Turner be one of those people, it was really special.
Wardell was buried at Arlington National back in January, and I think that's when it really hit home with his teammates, people in the community.
And I got swamped with emails from just random people that I had a son, I had a daughter, my husband, my wife, my grandchild served, died. It moved people. And I had some alums that stood up and went, we played with him. We need to honor him. We need to remember him.
We're throwing ideas around and said, what if we start a scholarship in Wardell's name? That way a legacy is edged in stone. Some young male student athlete is going to have an opportunity to go to college and pay for their education. And that's what we said, that's it. That's what we have to do.
What we were hoping to do here at Towson University to pay honor to Sergeant Major Wardell Turner is to establish a scholarship that captures the attributes that Wardell exemplified, first as a player and then later on as a soldier.
It's going to be somebody who represents the institution well, represents the game of football and their own personal family well, and a kind of person who doesn't really use the word I or me very often. More we or us, kind of like Wardell.
The individual who first receives the Wardell Turner Scholarship should be inspired by the example and the life that Wardell led.
The type of person should definitely be somebody who, is not afraid to be a leader, not afraid to, stand up for his own decisions and what he believes in, and somebody that, is going to create better opportunities for the other people around them.
It's our hope that students, families that send their students here will recognize this scholarship as something incredibly dear to us as a Towson athletic family. We can rest assured that every football player that walks through these doors is going to understand who Wardell Turner is as long as we're here to spread that word.